Hey everybody, it's Famine from Famine Studios. Today, this community build, was inspired by this Tic Tac container I've had sitting in my parts bin for a long time. I initially wanted to make a speeder bike out of it. I just didn't know how I was going to do it, so, for $3, less than $3, I got started. Now, these guys here I picked up at Walmart. They're Beast Riders, as you can see. They were $6.97. They had been sitting there for a while, and I will tell you, it just put me under the $10 mark, so I didn't buy anything else additional to do this. This was all scraps out of my bin. I spend some time just looking at things. I often find that if I hold them, turn them around, open them up, maybe trace it on some paper, I come up with a design idea, but here I'm just laying it out on the mat. Opening up these guys, they're ridiculous. The size and the weight of the characters alone are absolutely bananas. The sculpting's really nice, though. I don't know what in the world you would use it for, but, I'm sure they make some kids happy. They've got that pull-back engine stuff, but, yeah, they come right off the seats. Like, there was no elbow grease attached, just popped right off. Handlebars came off with them. Again, the sculpt is really nice on these. I just have no use. I grabbed a screwdriver and just started taking one of these bad boys apart. I wanted to see what was inside, what made them tick, and now I've got them all laid out into pieces, and I'm just checking to see what's available. These pieces of white plastic that has the pullback feature, they were covered in oil, which obviously they would be to move this vehicle around. So if you do decide to do this on your own, or you open up something with these types of gears, make sure you wash the pieces off with soap and hot water and let them dry properly. Probably wash them twice, I'd recommend, but that'll help it so paint sticks and everything. I'm going to make use of the body, though, for certain. I've got the pieces together. I took apart that Walmart Hell Cycle Beast, what are they called? Beast Raiders. Got some ideas. I'm just gonna sit here and put some pieces together. Might throw them together with some tape, I don't know, and see what they look like. I like the idea of the existing motorcycle body being part of it, but I want to make some changes. I do want to use this is the catalyst for the entire thing, so I want to use this Tic Tac container, and I think I might make this the engine that pulls the rest of the bike, similar to a pod racer, kind of like Cobb Vanth had his. This is my process. Nothing, when I completely scratch build, when I completely do this, nothing is thought out. Literally, I've just had this and I've been looking at it and thinking to myself, this would make a cool speeder bike somehow. So that's what I'm doing right now. Here I have a pile of bits and bobs from my junk drawer. I've got things like plastic gift cards that are used up, beads. Thought I was Bill making stuff for a second, but I'm pretty sure he's got that copywritten and would send Cat after me. Took the motorcycle completely apart, as you saw in the previous clip. The two halves are nice. I may widen it up at this point. I think that was my plan originally, was to widen it up, but that never wound up happening because it's, honestly, it's pretty damn spot on for 187 scale, and that's what we like here at the studio. For gimmick, we have the 187, so taking this apart, clipping the struts down for the wheels, I want them gone so I can attach them differently. When you're kit bashing, I can't recommend a good set of snips / side cutters, whatever you want to call them, enough, and also dollar store nail files, emery boards, sanding sticks, whatever you want to call them if it makes you feel better. They do a great job in just cleaning up those little cuts, those little offcuts, and a sharp X-Acto blade. Cut away from yourself, don't cut towards yourself. I shouldn't be cutting towards myself, but I did. And I didn't cut myself, fortunately, but here I'm starting to put the pieces together. I'm starting to get this idea of, all right, here's how I want this to sit. How do I attach it? This is one of those chairs that I got from my birthday trip to New Jersey. I thought about using it. It just didn't sit right with me. No pun intended there, but I should copyright these things. Anyway, didn't sit right with me, so I set that aside. Considered using that long straw, and I don't even think it was a straw. I think it was one of those stems that a helium balloon comes on that you get with flowers when somebody's in the hospital. Somehow I wound up with it. I thought about drilling out the spokes attachments. I don't know. I don't have a motorcycle. Look at me. I drive a SUV, and then I was like, okay, maybe I'll put the attach points for the axle and the wheels on there. Didn't work out the way I wanted it. It was too bulky when I heated up the tube and pressed that in. But this is my process. I just put things on the table, pick through it, and try and make it work. And I keep moving my hands out of the way of the camera. I forget sometimes that I'm filming myself. I get into that zone, and I'm sure other makers know about that, where you start working and you don't realize. So if you do miss something, I apologize, and shoot me a message down below. Drop a comment, and I'll get to it, and I'll take a look and see if I can't help you. But also here, I did a little bit of sanding, as you can see. I'm still trying to fit those pieces into that plastic straw, trying to make that work. It just doesn't work out for me in the end. when something doesn't work for you, it's not the end of the world. It's not the last thing that you'll do. You don't have to give up on the project. You can change your mind. The beautiful thing about kit bashing is there's no set rules, there's no parameters. I mean, there's rules for this challenge with the $10 budget, but you get my point. There's no parameters, but this is what I came up with out of that pile of junk. I used a piece of a pod racer. I'm using HO scale model railroad bits, pieces from a Batman toy, that Naboo grappling hook accessory pack, one of the motorcycle wheels, I slapped it on there, a light from one of those Chap May military vehicles, and of course our trusty and tried Tic Tac container. I love the way this is going. Well, I work on finishing this. You guys should check out these videos from community members. Yeah, put me to shame. That's what they're doing. They're putting me to shame. I'm out of a job.
Here is a standard issue speeder for the workers of the Hut Mining Corporation based on the planet of Nargula. Many speeders and other mining equipment were abandoned on the planet. The Hut Mining Corp pulled out of Nargula and sold the mine and orbiting space station to Zero the Hut. Many miners stayed on the planet because they could not afford to leave or figured it was a great place to hide out and stay off of the radar. This particular speeder was acquired in a game of chance by Hot Flash. She did not win the game, but scared away the participants with a flamethrower after a run of bad luck.
The following build is from MakeItPink6 on Instagram. Using vinyl fashion pieces, recycled bits, and other items, this speeder is a remarkable example of craftsmanship that does not need to cost a small galactic fortune. This vehicle is driven by a Mandalorian and is a wonderful showcase of how you can make something for under $10 using what you have.
This is the personal land speeder of Kim Bayless, droid assisted. It is a Raptor land speeder armed with medium laser mounted turret capable of tearing through a Rancor with ease and able to stun one with 3 blasts. The Raptor is fast due to its custom turbo assisted engine, allowing it to reach a top speed of 300 kilometers per hour and has a modest cruising speed of 100 kilometers per hour, equipped with a winch which could tow up to 4,000 standard pounds. With a built-in astromech, it can be piloted autonomously and operate the weapon system and be communicated from 25 kilometers away.
In this submission from Joseph, this shows that not only is recycling important, but also branding. This Honda hovercraft is an amazing use of found parts and existing pieces.
This custom build shows that Jawas love recycling. This is a great combination and shows you can build things from nothing. A cheap way to expand your world and travel.
Made from soap bottle dispensers and toy parts and a broken 50-pound speeder bike, this is an impressive offering from Lockdown Productions NASA. This dusty, broken-down looking speeder bike has inspired the film Chappie.
So an interesting and fun thing as we go guerrilla here, and I film this way, as a statement, a testament to how good Montana Gold is, I used it as a primer and I wasn't thinking. It was one of those things where I was consciously aware of what I was doing, but I also wasn't. And I applied it like I was putting a coating on instead of just a light misting to give this texture for the paint to stick to. So I've had to go over a lot of this with multiple coats, which is fine. Multiple coats means a better job. But it's just now occurring to me, I'm like, God damn, these paints are just, maybe it's the humidity or something, but no, it's that I applied the what I would use as a primer layer professionally, like I was putting a top coat on something. So just something to think about. So here's a tip for you as I'm finishing up the paint job on here. If you want something to look like it's medical tape or even duct tape for your 1/18th scale, this will even work for 1/12th scale. Take a piece of painter's tape, lay it down. I use a marker, but put a paint marker, but put down a strip of whatever color you want on there. Let it dry. Put another strip, and then use your ruler, cut it to scale, and wrap it around something. And it is tacky because it is painter's tape. And I like to put a little bit of glue because again, it's painter's tape. And wrap it around, and then that will also take staining and weathering really good, and it gives that scale appearance of those tapes. So you don't have to look for tiny little rolls of tape. Here I'm just considering adding some lashing and some final details, but I am super happy with how this turned out. So there you have it, guys. Those incredible builders, every last one of them. Please, their handles are at the bottom of the videos. There are also going to be links down below to all their Instagrams. Also check their YouTubes. Phenomenal makers. Every last one of them puts what I did to shame. I had a blast with mine. I'm going to drop a little blurb of what's going on with that vehicle in the reveal, but I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Stay tuned for the next one, and I appreciate you guys. Like, subscribe, all that fun stuff, and as always, too sweet me. Sometimes it's easier to buy ship parts than it is to buy parts for your speeder bike, and that's what happened here. This speeder bike is mashed together between the body of an existing speeder bike with a really weak engine, probably something made for a less experienced rider, and the thruster engine off of an old war mech. The war mech technology that was inside needed to be refueled, but once it was hooked up and charged fully, it was able to be wired and hard harnessed into the bike so that it could be used to pull it along at high rapid speeds. The skull on top, a story for another day.